Hi Anirudh, thanks for joining us for the case interview. Before we start, I have a question for you. Do you watch IPL?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, who's your favorite team?
My favorite team has been Chennai Super Kings for some time.
Okay. So, you might not like this particular case because we are helping Mumbai Indians for this particular case.
Wow.
It's a surprising and a slightly unconventional case that we have here. But who's your favorite player? Favorite cricket player?
Favorite cricket player, I think, is has been Virat Kohli for some time, and I love Shubman Gill as well.
Then you will absolutely love the case because our client, Mumbai Indians, has a specific problem. They want to acquire Virat Kohli, they want to get Virat Kohli from RCB,
Wow.
and they want to understand what is the right price, the right valuation of getting Virat Kohli from RCB so that they can bid RCB and take Virat Kohli from them. Okay, so the client wants our help on this particular case. So you can start with this.
Understood. Understood. Before I proceed, I would want to clarify a couple of things. Uh, when we say when we say Mumbai Indians and RCB, we are talking about the present scenario of 2026 as the team
Yes.
stand.
Yes, let's consider it the present scenario.
Got it. Given that this is mid-season to IPL right now, I'm assuming we are talking about the season pre to this where teams have been shuffling.
Yes, right. Let's consider it pre 2026 season
Got,
that we want to acquire Virat Kohli and get him into our team before the season kicks off.
got it. Got it. And if I were to clarify, what will be the objective of Mumbai Indians to acquire Virat Kohli?
So your favorite player is Virat Kohli. You tell me what can be the objective for a particular team to acquire a player like Virat Kohli.
Understood. I mean, Virat Kohli himself is a huge asset. Uh,
Definitely.
but I think for any IPL team, and I guess for if I were talking for MI, there would really be three key levers of acquiring Virat Kohli. One would be purely for profits, right? IPL is a business. There would be strategic reasons to weaken competition, eliminate such a strong player from the play entirely, and there would be brand value, of course, right? That Virat Kohli himself brings to the table. These would be like broad objectives for Mumbai Indians to go after.
Got it. So profit, strategic as well as increasing the brand value. Strategic, by strategic you mean that they want to make their team stronger, maybe make others weak as well, right?
Yes,
Got it. So probably there are a lot of other stakeholders as well. So Mumbai Indians doesn't want that. Rather, Mumbai Indians believes in creating value, creating more value of their franchisee, and also creating more value for their business. So let's take it as they want to increase the franchisee value by acquiring Virat Kohli.
understood, understood, got it. Is there a time horizon they are looking at?
So ideally, we want to acquire him before this season, 2026 kicks off. Let's assume we still have 3 months to go to make our bid, and once we acquire him, then we will keep him forever till his retirement. We want Virat Kohli to be in our team.
Understood, understood. If I can have 10 seconds.
Sure.
uh, right. So in terms of pricing a player, right, and in general, pricing has three key areas where we can look at. One would be value based. What is the value generated by Virat Kohli himself? The other would be cost based, and then of course there would be a comparable based, like a multiple based valuation.
Okay.
These would be
This
three primary
sounds
ways.
this really sounds good for a business if I'm pricing a particular product or a business. But before we move ahead, I'm very curious to know how would you use the cost-based approach to price Virat Kohli?
Interesting that you asked that, but if I were to think about this as to how do we do a cost-based approach, I would look at it in terms of how can we actually build, what would be the cost of building a player like Virat Kohli, which would be taking someone through 15, 16 years of rigorous practice, buying him the kits, taking care of all his practice needs, and then giving him international exposure for another 10 years, and then hope that he has those inert skills that Virat Kohli himself has, right?
And
And then you probably come up with a cost of making someone like a Virat Kohli, which would probably be insane. However, I
and
think that lever is not something that would be feasible to go.
exactly, and I think that's a very good approach actually. Like it will at least give us the lower benchmark that okay, if I have to make simulate someone like Virat Kohli, this is the cost that it will take. So anything above that is the obviously going to be the price for Virat Kohli. But obviously, as you know, for international cricketers or anyone, their value is the extra value, the potential that they have once they have established themselves is much more than the cost that they have spent in their training and everything. So yes, but I like this approach, and as you correctly pointed out, probably it will not be the right method though in this case.
Right, right. I think the most suitable would be the either the value based or the multiple based approach. Where
Right.
in terms of the multiple or the comparable based approach, we would look at somebody who is a close approximation to what Virat Kohli brings to the table, and we may then assume we may then assume some parameters on which Virat Kohli can be scaled higher or lower. For example, players like Rohit Sharma, who have a very similar sort of history with being the Indian national captain, etc. Maybe him or like Dhoni back when he was in his prime. Those would be some comparable benchmarks to assume Virat Kohli's price.
Amazing. Um, can you tell me certain parameters? Suppose I am comparing him with a player, say KL Rahul or say Rohit Sharma. Can you give me some factors that can help me price Virat Kohli maybe higher or lower?
Right, right,
Suppose Rohit Sharma's current price that I'm paying Rohit Sharma in my team is 15 crore. Okay, now I just want to understand for Virat Kohli, how would you go about using this particular approach? While it might not be the correct one, but still, I just want to understand the factors from you.
understood. I would look at this broadly from two levers. One is what is the brand influence of the player, right? Individually, as to how much crowd pull they have, how much brand value they have, right? And the other would be skill based, which would be how much on field sort of performance based metric they could bring in. So in either of the two, maybe to compare in terms of metrics for the brand value or the crowd pool, I would probably compare like followers, maybe Instagram followers, or their overall social media followers, right? That would be like a comparable uh,
Understand. I
upward
get
mark.
the
And then skill
understanding.
based would be something like number of centuries with like number of runs scored or like average, and then it
Strike
would scale
rate.
up
Yeah.
as per Virat Kohli's performance. But
Understood. I like this approach as well. That it will be divided in two ways. That is brand influence as well as the skill that they bring on the field. Great. Now let's go to the value-based approach, and I think you will also agree with me that probably that is the best method to price Virat Kohli at this stage.
yeah, I agree. I think the value based approach is probably what most IPL teams also would go by, as to adding a player like Virat Kohli, and the value to spend on him might actually depend so much more on the profit that the team would make from this player than anything else.
Right. So yeah, if you can give me a structure to price Virat Kohli.
Understood. I would take 10 seconds here.
Sure.
Right. I would broadly divide the value that Virat Kohli brings to Mumbai Indians in three sort of time buckets, if I would put it like that. Basically, before Virat Kohli walks onto the field, when Virat Kohli is on the field, and after Virat Kohli has left the field, right?
Okay.
And when I say that, what I mean is when I say before he enters the stadium, Virat Kohli has his own crowd pull aura. People would come to see him, right? When people come to know that Virat Kohli is in Mumbai Indians, more people would want to come to Wankhede and actually watch. More people would tune in their TVs to watch, right? That would be the crowd pull lever. The on-field lever would be as to how Virat Kohli plays the game, right? The win percentage chances that he might affect with his performance, and after the field are more softer aspects of brand value that Virat Kohli himself adds to MI's already existing brand value, and how he complements and how that value could increase multifold. Now, if I were to go deeper into each of these.
Yeah, let's not go into the values for any of them. We don't want values for anything. We just want factors or levers that can help us establish the right value. So you can proceed accordingly.
Understood. Understood. So if I look at first the if before Virat Kohli enters the field, right, I would then divide this into his crowd pull effect into two parts. How they would have an effect on the profit is direct or indirect. The direct effect of Virat Kohli coming into the stadium and people increasing, it would be ticket sales, merchandise sales, all the sales that would like F&B sales, etc., that would increase in the stadium because of more people coming to watch the stadium, right? I assume that the Wankhede is already packed in a lot of sense. However, Virat Kohli's presence itself could make a case for increasing the prices of the tickets as well, right?
Okay.
In terms of indirect revenue increase, there would be much better sponsorships that Mumbai Indians could still attract. Jersey sponsorships, the Wankhede Stadium sponsorships in and around the stadium, the advertisements that are placed, and also selling of media rights, of all the matches of Mumbai Indians that they could get a lot much better deals out of them.
Understood.
In terms of on the field gameplay, how I would evaluate Virat Kohli's performance translating into percentage of probability of MI winning the game is I would evaluate his capabilities into two aspects as to how his individual capability comes into play and how he complements the team's capability at the moment.
Okay. So individual and team.
Individual and team.
Okay.
In terms of team, I would look at what is the present team composition. Does Virat Kohli have a place? If Mumbai Indian already has Rohit Sharma in the team, and if he is fit, right, then does Virat Kohli add that much more significant performance that would take the
Right.
team forward? As an individual performer, Virat Kohli is a very strong player. He will definitely score a lot of runs. He's been one of the top scorers in IPL season after season, and surely his individual capability and performance will have a beneficiary effect to Mumbai Indians gameplay. And I would, in the end, give them a reasonable percentage uh, upside towards climbing the table more, and that would then translate to monetary value in terms of what position better they would end up with Virat Kohli than without. Right.
Okay. Got it.
In terms of after, I think the number of followers that Virat Kohli would increase for Mumbai Indians, the brand value of different products that Mumbai Indians might endorse, now complement with Virat Kohli's own personal brand. I believe that given that Reliance Industries owns Mumbai Indians, a lot of products from Reliance Retail or other aspects of Reliance businesses can benefit a lot from Virat Kohli's brand presence. Viacom 18, of course, media will be one of the biggest aspects. Having the national icon in their team would definitely boost such brand presence.
Okay.
Apart from brand value and increase in reach following, there would be some other sort of benefits that could be much softer, which is like the advice and legacy that Virat Kohli might leave with the players, the
Nice.
team that he would build while playing with those players, right? Then of course there would be other players who would want to join the team, given that Virat Kohli's presence, right? We might be able to acquire uh, players at a lower cost, right? Because the players would themselves want to be willing to come into our
Associated with
team,
Virat Kohli.
right?
Right.
That is broadly the setup I would look at in terms of valuing Virat Kohli. But it would be
Understood.
really interesting to have Mumbai Indians buy Virat Kohli at the end of the day.
Understood. That's interesting. I like this approach as well. You have measured across three buckets: before, during, and after. Any key risks that you can think about while purchasing Virat Kohli? Any key risks that the Mumbai Indians should be careful about?
Absolutely. Again, across the three levers, there are definitely key risks that Mumbai Indians should be aware of, right? Before the field, of course, as I mentioned, Wankhede is already a packed stadium with players like Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav already having their own fan following to come in. Virat Kohli's mix in this might actually dilute some of the competition or the high voltage drama people want to see when clashes of RCB versus MI take place, right? That might just actually kill so much of the entertainment. Could be a risk that might not translate into the increase in crowds on field gameplay might be affected in terms of team chemistry again as to how Virat Kohli fits into the team. Virat Kohli has himself he's a leader. He's also aggressive leader. Having him in a team that has already packed with captains, where aspiring captains like Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, and the existing Rohit Sharma captain in the team, right, with senior players like Bumrah also in the mix, could be a very uh, volatile dynamic to handle. And even in terms of the after effects, where we see of the brand value of Mumbai Indians and the followers increase, may have a certain risk of translation. However, there would be low risk over here because there would be additional crowds or additional followers that Virat Kohli could bring in. Mumbai Indians brand value could see little dilution only, even in the downside, by adding Virat Kohli. Also there could be the low probability of this brand value dilution could also come from the fact that RCB fans could have a backlash, could play a backlash here, where they could well be deprived of their identity, having been associated with Virat Kohli for so long, could feel
Right.
very betrayed by this and would essentially end up not following or decrease their sort of
Right.
liking towards him.
And that's an interesting point, the last one as well that you mentioned, the team chemistry. I really understand that. If suppose we are not able, if we purchase him for the brand value, but we are not able to fit him in the team, it might become a problem. And the final thing as well, where RCB fans might have a backlash. So it's not only about Mumbai Indians. If the client is also worried, in case RCB fans have a backlash towards the owners as well, that is the overall business, Reliance Industries in particular. So if they have a backlash over there, so that might be a significant risk. So okay, now we can come to the conclusion of the case. If you can summarize, I like the pricing approach and everything, but having considered the risks as well as the pricing aspects, everything that you have mentioned, what would you recommend the clients? Should they go ahead with acquiring and purchasing Virat Kohli from RCB? And if yes, any precaution that you want to mention?
In summary, I think Mumbai Indians having a already established brand and a very strong team can definitely benefit from the addition of a massive national icon and a player like Virat Kohli. It would definitely make their team very strong and improve their chances of winning the IPL. It would likely increase in their viewership and as well as brand value, right? However, certain precautions that should be taken against this is then to manage the team dynamic, wherein they already have big stars in their team, as well as managing the backlash that would come from RCB fans, probably. However, they can be managed in terms of trying to increase the fan base of Mumbai Indians as well by pulling from RCB fans. Uh, Overall, I would recommend that Mumbai Indians, if possible, should go ahead with the purchase of Virat Kohli if the pricing fits below the value Virat Kohli can deliver, which would basically end up giving a boost to their franchisee value at the end.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Anirudh, for the case.
Thank you, Ananta.
So, कैसा था केस?
Must, my God.
केस तो ठीक था बट कैसा लगा तुझे सॉल्व करके लाइक तू जो बेंचमार्क रखा था मैकेंसी में एंड एवरीथिंग, डू यू थिंक मैच कर पाया था ये केस में?
I mean, wow, it was really unconventional, but like super interesting as well. I think back in my day, my McKinsey interview was also very much conversational. It was like I did not get a chance to delve into like a full established framework and be able to sort of navigate through my framework very easily. Uh, and I think in some ways, like this case could have been one of those, right?
तो ये मतलब जब ऐसा होता है जब भी कोई फ्रेमवर्क नहीं फिट हो, सो डू यू थिंक वी शुड कीप इट मतलब कॉन्वर्सेशनल ओनली? फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे भी आई डेंट वांट टू गो इनटू वैल्यूज़ बिकॉज वो बहुत बड़ा बना देता केस का, एंड आई डोंट थिंक कोई भी जाता वैल्यूज़ पे भी. बट व्हाट डू यू थिंक क्या वर्क करता है ऐसे केसेस में जब मतलब कैंडिडेट के पास ऐसे केसेस आ जाए?
I think ऐसे केस में composure matters the most, right? Because you don't want to seem like speaking haphazardly or going haywire or speaking on the same points repeatedly. You want to keep composure. You want to have like a background structure in your mind, right? And always sort of delve into cutting your ideas into different buckets, right?
अच्छा,
So even
मतलब
when it's
जैसे
conversational, yeah, make sure
बिफोर
that you,
आफ्टर ड्यूरिंग, मतलब बिफोर ड्यूरिंग एंड आफ्टर किया,
हाँ,
सो वहाँ से थोड़ा क्लैरिटी मिल गया कि ओके कहाँ कहाँ मैं देख सकता हूँ
yeah,
टीम कॉम्पोजिशन ये सब में ड्यूरिंग द मैच. अदरवाइज आई थिंक मैं ड्यूरिंग अगर नहीं करता तो शायद वो टीम कॉम्पोजिशन वाला डायनामिक्स, हाँ शायद वो वाला हिट नहीं करता यहाँ पे.
yes, yes. And
मेक
also, I
सेंस.
think even before going into, before, during, after, initially you were asking so much more about what would be like a cost-based lever, etc. I think we did like a value cost comparable thing. So that was also one way where we sort of bucketed thoughts. एंड फिर उसके बाद में उसको फिर वापस से एक और बकेटिंग किया. तो दैट्स व्हाट आई सेड कि ये एक ब्रीफ बकेटिंग ऑफ थॉट्स हमेशा करते जाना चाहिए इवन ड्यूरिंग द कॉन्वर्सेशन, राइट? एंड आई थिंक one major advice in such cases is not to get carried away, because sometimes
You know
while
the
while it's important that in cases
subject.
where you do have no idea about the industry, right, you're very, very careful, you ask everything, you assume nothing, and you question. However, in such cases where you believe that you have so much context, you sort of end up jumping to the conclusion without having established the
Right.
objective or like context that is actually in the mind of the client, while you rather take those leaps.
नाइस. या एंड आईपीएल में भी मतलब सबको पता है कि क्या है, क्रिकेट सब देखते हैं. आई थिंक हो सकता है. आई रियली लाइक दैट क्वेश्चन जब तू पहले पूछ रहा था ना कि आर सी बी एंड एम आई इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ विच ईयर, एंड मतलब कौन से साल में, बिकॉज मैंने वो नहीं सोचा था एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. आई वॉज थिंकिंग 2026 ओनली. बट येस, इफ इट वॉज सपोज 2015 और 2010 का कॉन्टेक्स्ट, और आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट एक्वायरिंग इन 2030, then probably you would have had to ask questions. Okay, who are the current members? What मतलब Virat Kohli's age at that time would have been a consideration and not 2026. And then when do we want to acquire? वो भी I think makes complete sense. So 2026 में you know the team dynamics now in 2026. तो नहीं तो otherwise.
I think all of us follow like a basic framework of asking the clarifying questions, which is like analyzing everything you said. But I think apart from everything you say, there are three things people should briefly keep in mind, which is objective, time, and place. Right? Place, it could be like environment, or like is this like a geography thing, or like And time is something which is what's the time horizon, or like which period is this context set in, and
Hmm.
objective, because these three things may not be put out front by the interviewer.
Right.
And he might just give like the other pieces of the context. Of course, people go about breaking everything that is said by the interviewer.
Hmm.
However, I think these three things are something that sometimes cannot may not be said, but would be implicit.
Right. Hmm, interesting. Because if it's a normal business case, selling of products or something, then again we have again have a very standard thing. We'll ask about the company's value chain, product distribution channels, geography, customer segments. Very standard and objective and time as well. But यहाँ पर it becomes important time horizon and everything. Sometimes we ask, I think, the profits have increased. Then we ask, okay, or the profits have decreased. Since how long have the profits decreased? So I think you got that concept from there itself. That let's ask the time horizon as well.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
और कुछ
Very crazy examples of unconventional cases have been the deer population is decreasing in some national park, right? And then people are like, what's the objective of this? Can sound very offensive, but of course it's important to clarify objectives even there, not to assume that the objective is to simply save them.
Understood. So, any interesting anecdote, like any interesting learnings or anything from your McKinsey interviews, जो share कर सकते हो, like with the candidates?
Right. I think एक चीज जैसे I think we covered this in some sense, but like be people need to be very much in the interview, right? I mean, preparation, etc. Everything is there, but you have to also prepare for being able to talk on your feet, have
Yeah.
that composure at the final day,
Hmm.
not stick to your framework, to stick very rigidly to like the set of things. And that's why the mock interviews, the mock drills, etc., is very helpful, because you're again and again placing yourself in that situation where you might have to deviate from your framework, where the partner might suddenly start asking you, giving you additional context that you have to process on spot.
Presence of mind important है and yeah, this is one of the things that मैंने भी कोर्स में बता रहा था कि frameworks तो yes I have detailed out all the frameworks लेकिन you cannot stick to the frameworks are your weapons, okay, but you need to understand when to use them, and at the same time conversations, how to drive the conversations, that's like really important. Otherwise if you just say that okay, use this profit revenue minus cost, now use the 4A framework, use the BCG matrix, and we'll do it, वो obviously the interview won't like it.
Even they are looking for people who can talk to clients and
Hmm.
bucket their thoughts live, because
Right.
when you're talking to a client you can't be like कि, अच्छा एक second रुको, like revenue minus cost, revenue buckets are priced into products. You have to be more conversational while also articulating your thoughts and saying, okay, maybe it could be these three things, what do you think is it, right?
Right.
And I think that's
But we still do this ना, like if अगर profit का case आता है we will still do revenue minus cost. Yeah.
that you still have to do. That's the
The
baseline.
structure.
Yes, yes, yes.
कभी कभी while preparing I always had this, I know revenue is equal to like okay profit is revenue minus cost, ठीक है, like should I say it in the interview or not, that while I was preparing in 2020
Actually,
2020.
some people had a little bit smarter approach to it also. कहीं कहीं पर लोग थोड़ा सा उसको वैसे कर देते थे कि
जैसे like
they would say कि yes, profits are basically a function of revenue and costs, right? You don't have to always say कि it's revenue
revenue
minus
minus
cost in the very sense. You can say they're a function of revenue or cost. I don't see a very big cost effect here. Should I focus on the revenue? Like give your on
making your
ingoing
hypothesis.
hypothesis there, and the interviewer might just say ki, no, actually it's the cost problem, right? So don't go into revenue, focus on cost. So that's completely fair, right? So
Nice. And
you can do these small variations.
okay, and like typical, like when you were asked, I think how many rounds happened for McKinsey case interview में?
In the finals I just had one round, one.
अच्छा उसके पहले बडी वो हो गया होगा ना,
Yeah,
बडी कैंपस प्लेसमेंट.
buddy things.
राइट
Yes,
तो बडी
and that
एंड
one case interview was like, it was just an ultra mesh of I don't know what, right? But it was very conversational.
But
इनिशियल मोमेंट्स में मुझे लग रहा था कि मे बी द पार्टनर इज ट्राइंग टू गिव मी लाइक एन इन्फॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड, क्योंकि ऐसा होता है यूजुअल केस में कि वी हैव टू आस्क ऑल द क्वेश्चंस टू एक्सट्रैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन एक्सेट्रा, राइट? एंड हियर इन माय केस it so happened that I was getting influx of information, right? The partner had like a
starting
full
me.
3 minute context delivery where he was giving me so much of context around the case, what was this,
Yeah.
etc. ऐसा 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 नहीं ऐसा वैसा. And in my mind, all I was trying to think was, am I covering like the bases I have in mind कि ये सारे जैसे वही cause, place, objective ये complete है कि नहीं?
Hmm.
तो
एंड एक्चुअली कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है लाइक व्हाट डू यू आस्क, मतलब इतने इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑलरेडी दे दिया है, अब तो मैं सोच के बैठा हूँ दिमाग पे कि यार क्लैरिफाइंग क्वेश्चन पूछना है, सब तो क्लैरिफाई हो चुका है एंड देन यू आर लाइक आई एम मिसिंग दैट वन लेयर कम्प्लीटली.
In my
exactly,
interview.
exactly.
Hmm.
But it's important to hold your fort and be able to sort of again channel those informations into your buckets very quickly. So then you, even if the partner in his context delivery has answered only 3 of the 5 questions, you're still missing the 2 questions that you need to ask.
इट बिकम्स चैलेंजिंग एज वेल कि हाँ नाउ रिपीट भी नहीं कर सकते, अगर पूछ लिया तो यार लिसनिंग स्किल्स भी टेस्ट किया जा रहा है.
Yeah.
एंड
For example, in my case, of course, if I were to share, I did end up asking a question, and the partner said, "Ki I have already answered this," and it took me a second to realize that yes, I mean that was
Okay.
put in context,
Hmm.
right?
बट मतलब ठीक है, मतलब हियर और देयर यू स्टिल क्रैक्ड इट, मतलब ठीक है एक दो बार हो भी जाए तो यू कैन
Yeah,
स्टिल क्रैक द.
I mean that's why people should also keep in mind that the case interview is not just one question. It's not just about that wrong answer, or it's not about that wrong question. It's about your overall conversation, how
Right.
you're allowing your thoughts to sort of land on the other person in a structured, bucketed manner.
राइट, एंड दैट इज़ ऑल्सो इंटरेस्टिंग बिकॉज काफ़ी लोगों को लगता है लाइक व्हेन दे इनिशियली प्रिपेयरिंग कि अगर मैं सोल्यूशन में पहुंच नहीं पाया तो ख़त्म, मेरा केस ख़त्म, लाइक आई हैव टू रीच दैट वन सोल्यूशन दैट द इंटरव्यूअर हैज़ इन माइंड. बट वो जो बीच का इतना बड़ा, एंड वंस दे रीच द सोल्यूशन दे थिंक कि हाँ हो गया, क्रैक हो गया, मेरा इंटरव्यू क्रैक हो गया. सो आई थिंक
I
इट्स
mean, of course, we
Interesting.
have seen so many places where people have matlab, come on to crack the cases like ekdam aisa, and then there has been nothing. On the other
Reject
hand,
aa
people
gaya.
have not gotten to the solution, but still have gotten calls, right?
Yeah.
So,
Makes
like we
sense.
said, I mean, it just depends on delivery, and I say think sometimes just to test you also, they might just lead you on in a wrong direction, right? However, if you are able to like break it, structure it, then you sort of get it.
गॉट इट. Okay, yeah, thank you, Anirudh, for sharing your learnings and sharing this particular case as well.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for doing it.
Ananta, again for having me.
Thank you.